Joe, you guys have taken a lot of three-pointers because largely you've had the personnel for it. This year you're playing at a faster pace. Yeah. Has the process of getting those three-pointers changed at all, or is it largely the same?
I don't know. I mean, I think you just constantly have to figure out what shot you can get every time down the floor. I think we focus on the guys that we've lost, but we have brought in some guys that do have the ability to make shots, and we've kept guys that have the ability to make two-on-ones. And if we continue to make those reads the right way, I think we'll still have those. I think our three-point attempt is 51% of our shots in the preseason as compared to 53 last year. So we're still finding opportunities for those, because our guys are doing a good job playing faster, getting the two-on-one there. So, we'll see how defenses continue, to adjust to the personnel that we have. But at the same time, I still think we have guys that, have the ability to make open shots. We just kind of have to do both there.
Joe, how much in terms of your rotations and all that is still being determined into the season?
It's a good question. I mean, I don't know that we'll have one throughout the entire year. I think that's listen, every time you have a team, a strength and a weakness, they can be very similar to those things, right? And I think one of our strengths is the depth that we have. We may have a little inexperience, we may have newness, but I think we have depth, and I think the ability to not have a rotation is a strength because you can go to fresh guys, you can go to a bunch of different guys, you can do a bunch of different things. So we're in the obviously early stages of that, but I'm not sure that we will have one, and I think that can actually be a good thing for us, throughout a season.
Can you play 11 guys? I mean, people try and they got to play 9. Can you do that?
I think you can. I mean, I think everything just comes down to having an understanding of the type of team that we have and what gives us the best chance to win every night. I'm not saying that'll happen every game, but I do think we do have 12, 13 guys that do have the ability to impact the game in some capacity, and I think that's something that we have to lean into. I think it can be an opportunity for our guys, but like you're saying, having a rotation can be a strength, but not having a rotation can also be a strength because you can go to a bunch of different stuff. So I think we'll play with both throughout the season, but I up until this point, the guys have been very open-minded to that being a strength of ours. We just got to continue that.
Anthony had obviously grown accustomed to being the primary option, having the ball in his hand most of the time in Portland. But what have you seen from him so far here in terms of his impact when he's off the ball?
Yeah, I mean, it's not necessarily just off the ball, but I've just seen a guy that's committed to wanting to learn how to play the way that we need to play and not attached to, like, this is what's gone well for me in my career. He's focused on, like, okay, you guys have the confidence that I need to be the best version of myself. At the same time, how are we going to do this? Play Celtic basketball on both ends of the floor. He just has a clear, open-minded to that. And I think that's important. So he knows how to play off the ball with just his instincts and his ability to cut and move. But, we obviously, want him to be aggressive with the ball. So it's really just a matter of being able to play the way we need him to play with the guys that are out there and on both ends of the floor.
Joe, I know you spent some time with Malcolm Brogdon. What do you have to say about him and the news of his retirement today?
Yeah, it's obviously he was a sixth man of the year. It was our first year together. I appreciate the grace that he showed and the patience that he showed and the openness that he showed for, coming into a place and then, working with the first-time coach. And he did a lot for us, obviously, on the court, but he was really good off the floor, just, with his family and getting to know them there. So, I look at him and look at a guy that kind of has an identity and knows who he is and will be able to transition into anything that he does because of, his work ethic, his mentality, but also his, just takes pride in learning and being, well educated. So I think anything he does, he'll be good at. And, I was glad I got to coach him. He did a lot of good stuff for us. Yeah. Hey, thanks for yesterday too, guys. I obviously didn't know it was going to turn into what it did, but I don't think you realize how much it helped me, see. I think one of the reasons there's no stage up here today because I felt like after yesterday we all had our guard down and like we were all in the competitive arena together. That meant a lot to lower everyone's guard and bust balls and do all that stuff. So it was cool to see everybody in a natural environment and. Sometimes we're coming from a competitive arena and you're not in a competitive arena. You're just doing your job. And that's where things get misinterpreted. But, like, for all of us to be in the same arena, I think that says a lot. So yesterday was very, very important. It'll be laughed at and joked about, but it means a lot more to humanize. We have too many interactions where it's coach and you, like everyone's doing their job. But we all got to see Corrales shove, Jack Simone, which is no different than me getting pissed at Jack Simone's question, right? It's a competitive reaction to a thing that's going on. So if anything, we have to do it more because it humanizes the competition. And I realize how much you guys really like the game and care about it. So I hope that it doesn't drag on as something that's funny. It's something that was serious, so I meant that. And that was important that we did that yesterday, and we'll do it again. So thanks.